Step-by-step exam solutions. Okay, math class. Training you to excel. Subscribe to step-by-step exam solution. Give a thumbs up. Share with friends. Click the notification button so that you receive the next video. Please, your comment is very important. Okay, math class. Present step-by-step to exam success. Step 1, pray. Step 2, plan. Step 3, prepare. Step 4, preview. Step 5, perform. Okay, math class. Step-by-step exam solution to statistics. In this new series, we have been studying statistics. So far, we have gone through the first video on statistics, and the topic is histogram. This second video will also be on histogram, and then the next video will be on bar charts and pie charts. Then after that, we are going to calculate the mean, median, and mode for both discrete and group data. Then finally, we are going to look at standard deviation and mean deviation. In this particular video, we are still looking at statistics number 2. And our objectives are: number 1, prepare a frequency distribution table. Number 2, choose a reasonable uniform scale. Number 3, draw a histogram and use the histogram to answer questions based on the histogram. Now let's go to the question now. The table shows the age distributions of the members of a club. A. Calculate correct to 1 decimal place the mean age. B. Draw the histogram to illustrate the information. 2. Use the histogram to estimate the modal age. C. If a member is selected at random, what is the probability that he or she is in the modal class? Let's solve the question together now. Now we are going to prepare the table. The first 2 columns of the table will represent the class interval, representing the ages of the members of this club. While the next column, the frequency, will tell us the total number of people belonging to this club in a particular class. Then we are now going to find the class representative of this class, called the class center or the class midpoint. We're now going to draw another column. X is the class size, class center or the class midpoint. And how do we find the value of X? It is very simple. Let's see how we can do that. In the first class, we have 2 limits, 10 to 14. The first limit, the lower limit is 10, and the upper limit is 14. So we're now going to add the lower limit and the upper limit, 10 plus 14, and we're going to divide by 2. And if we do that, 10 plus 14 is 24. 24 divided by 2 is 12. The class center for the first class is 12. In the same way, we can find the class center for these classes. For the second class, the lower limit is 15. The upper limit is 19. We add 15 to 19. That will give us 34. 34 divided by 2 is 17. For the next class, you discover a pattern here. The difference between the first 2 class centers is 5. 17 minus 12 is 5. 5 is called the class size. Add the class size of 5 to 12, you have 17. Add 5 to 17, you have 22. Add 5 to 22, that will give us 27. 27 plus 5 is 32. 32 plus 5 is 37. Now we have the class centers. We are going to add another column to get the product of the class center and the frequency. F times X. 7 times 12 is 84. 18 times 17. You can use calculator to find the value. It will give us 306. Using the same calculator, 25 times 22 is 550. 17 times 27 is 459. 9 times 32 is 288. 4 times 37 is 148. Now we are going to use calculator to add. 84 plus 306 plus 550 plus 459 plus 288 plus 148 will give me 1,835. We are going to use this and this to find the mean. The formula for the mean is the sum of the product of the frequency and the class center divided by the sum of the frequency. And that will give me 1,835 divided by 80. That will give me 22.9375, which you can round up to 22.94 years. Now we're going to go to the next slide to answer question B. We bring down the graph board. Then we're now going to draw our axis and make sure that their scale is uniform. Here we have 0. The first 2 centimeters here is 5. The next 2 centimeters is 5. And if you look at it, that scale is uniform. Every 2 centimeters represents 5 units. Now, in the first 2 centimeters, you have 10 small squares. 2 small squares will give us 1. This will be 1, and then you have that up to 5 here. Here we have 2 centimeters represent 10 units. Each small square is equal to 1 unit. Now, using that, now we are going to draw the histogram. So now we are going to draw the histogram. For the first class, class 10 to 14, the class boundaries are 9.5 to 14.5. So we have 9.5 here to 14.5 at this point. And the total number of people in that club belonging to this particular class are 7 in number. So now this is 5. 2 small squares is 6. The next 2 small squares will be 7 at this point. So that's why we're going to draw our histogram. So that gives us the histogram. For the next class, class 15 to 19, giving us the class boundaries of 14.5 to 19.5. The total number of people in this particular class is 18. Coming here, we have 15. The next 2 small squares will give us 16. The next 2 will give us 17. Then 18 will give us the next 2 squares. Then we click. Now, following the same pattern, we can now draw all the rectangles representing the frequency for each class. Now, having completed the rectangles, we're now going to answer the questions. The first question says we should find the mode. From the upper left or the tallest rectangle here, we draw a line to the upper left corner of the next rectangle to the right of it. You do the same thing from the right corner of the tallest rectangle to the left corner to the right corner of the left rectangle to the tallest rectangle. So now this blue line and this red line, the point where they intersect represents their mode, because the modal class is 20 to 24, and the mode is the particular number that is at the center, which belongs to this class. So now we're going to find that now. The point that is being highlighted is that. Then we now draw down to the axis representing the ages of the members of the club. Now, looking at that, you can see that that is exactly 22. So therefore, the mode is 22. So we have answered B2. The modal age is 22 years. Then the next question. If a member is selected at random, what is the probability that he or she is in the modal class? The modal class is the class with the highest frequency, or the class represented by the tallest rectangle. How many people do we have in that class? Class 20 to 24, you have 25. So now that we are going to use to calculate the probability. Now we are now going to do that. We know that probability P of M will give us the total number of people in this particular class, 25, divided by the total number of people in this club, which we have already calculated, and that is 50 from our table. That is 80 from our table. Now 25 divided by 80 will give us a 5/16. That brings us to the end of this presentation. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe so that you will receive the next video.